All right, we're going to go live waiting for this. This is like a replay of Martinsville last year with, I guess, a little less controversy, but we are still waiting for confirmation over who made the top 8. They're focusing on Sammy Smith and Taylor Gray right now, and you got to also kind of think back all the way to Martinsville with this whole story. I don't know why it's taking this long. I'm going to be completely honest. I really don't know why they're dragging this out so much, unless there was something that we're not seeing. I don't know. We'll put the unofficial results on the bottom as we go. I'm not going to read through it all. But either way, I mean, I'm going to be honest. To me, it's a big deal because, I could see Gray actually doing really damn well at Martinsville. But as we know for sure, Zilisch, Jones, Allgaier in, Sam Mayer's in, Love's in, Creed, and Quapple looks like he's pretty safe to say that he's in. It's just waiting for the 8 or the 54. Sanchez out, the big bully, and the 21 out, and Harrison Burton, the Cinderella's glass slipper broke, and it wasn't even midnight. But Connor Zilisch gets the win in this race. We can talk about that for a moment while we wait. We'll wait for it and see where we go. But Connor Zilisch gets the victory, 10th win of the year. Just insanity. I mean, amazing how good he is. I believe it's 10, right? Like, I've stopped counting. I'm going to be completely honest. I know that we have Hyman, Zilisch in the double digits in both of the lower series right now. That's all I know. But so Sammy Smith is in. It looks like. I don't know. I thought by that reaction, at least it looked like it, but we're still waiting. By the way, can you hear my TV? Because I'm trying to keep track of this as I go. This too. I know there was fluid on the track. Can we have an explanation too on why there was a caution at the end of this too? Because this is this is the net, the big starting piece, the big linchpin to this entire problem. Can we at least is it from that crash? And if so, why did it take an entire lap after they crashed and there was clear damage to see fluid on the track? I just NASCAR officiating bugs me, man. It bugs me. And you know what? I'll agree with this too. I agree. I think CW was a bit off this week. Yeah, they said oil on the backstretch, or they said fluid, I think, at first. And I'm just wondering if it was one of those two cars that crashed. Just because, maybe one of them had radiator damage or something. But if it was oil, then okay. We know it wasn't a caution for cause, at least from the sound of it. I'm just wondering, why are we taking so long to figure this whole thing out? That's kind of where I'm getting lost on this whole deal. But Connor Zilisch, like I said, gets the win. Shouldn't be overshadowed. He is the dominator of this series in 2025. And by all accounts, just like Corey Heim, should be considered champion this year. But hey, you know what? That's not how it is. I mean, I think somebody put that he's led over 250 of the road course laps in this series this year. I mean, there's nobody else that in all of the races that was even in his level or in his class. I know they said Allgaier was at one point. Allgaier was 8 seconds back during that. So, but I guess I'll put a poll in here for y'all. Where's it at? Yeah, we'll put a poll. Who do you think is in? And I'll put the 8 and the 54. I'm just listening to see what happens at this point. I would think it'd be Smith based on them stopping it at the moment. This is what I don't get about it is there a way that we can upgrade the technology to figure this out quicker? to figure it out at the moment of caution. So we're not having to rely on scoring loops and then go onto the videotape side of it and do all of that BS. Is it like what can we do here? Like, yeah, so where's the problem here? If Gray drove under caution past the 2, and that's where you have him, even though it was under caution, he would be a spot behind. He shouldn't be there. Where is the I don't get where the problem is here. Like, unless there's something I'm missing. How long have we been waiting for this, by the way? Like, okay, they finally did it. Yeah, so it's been like 10 minutes to figure out what one camera angle could have shown us, like, from the get-go. So, yeah, there you go. Sammy Smith, he's the one that goes through. 88% of y'all are right, or 86 or whatever with the poll. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, they're interviewing Sammy Smith right now about it. Now we got that out of the way. The 54's out, as well as, I believe, the 48, 21, and 25. There you go. I don't know exactly, like, what this means for any of the other unofficial results on the bottom there, but as it scrolls through, we'll go through. It's Connor Zilisch getting the win under caution over Austin Green, who had a great runner-up finish today, ran a great race. Sammy Smith in third, best luck in the world. Kaz Grala fourth, Mosak. And these are at least the unofficial results. Jeb Burton, Sawalich, Allgaier, Sanchez, Eckes, the top 10. Then Creed, Love, Taylor Gray, who was behind Love, Almirola and Quapple, the top 15. Then Retzlaff, Hemrick, Jones, Mayer, and Ryan Sieg, the top 20. Balicki, Corey Day, Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Ellis, Sage Karam, Honeyman, Clements, Hill, and Perkins, the lead lappers in top 29. 30th is LeBay, then Poole and DiBenedetto, Kyle Sieg to 33rd, 1 lap down. 4 down for Harrison Burton, 34th. 6 down for Dean Thompson, 35th. Then Danny Dye, Josh Williams, and Preston Pardis, the 3 out of this race. Now, this is perfect, actually. This is absolutely, I did not plan this, by the way. I just wore this hat today. Did not plan it. Perfect damn timing with it. But since we're all here, we might be doing things a little out of order today. What would you give out of 10 this race? I love that. Yes, you did. We know it. No, I'm serious. Like, my wife handed me this hat today, and I'm like, okay. Let me know what you thought of the race. Wyatt says 6. Then we got 4 7s here. I think it's 3.88, 7, 7, 5, 8, 4, 7.88, 5.88, 6, 7, 6, 7, 7. JRM out of 10. Yeah, JRM, I think before some of the issues earlier, was on track for a 1-2-3 finish. I thought, say what you will about the playoffs or not, or any of that conversation, blah, blah, blah. I thought that it was a fine race. It was dominated, but I don't think that one driver dominating a race necessarily makes it a bad race. I've said this before. I've made this a point. Zilisch was just the best today, and he is the sole deserving driver for the win, right? Because you got him with 61 laps led. Let's see, Mosak led 1, Sanchez led 1, Love led 4, Hill led 1. So we had 68 laps today, and he led 61. Yeah, the deserving driver won today. I'm not upset at all by that. There was plenty of racing through the pack, whether it be the top 5, top 10, 11 through 20th. There were comers and goers, different drama with all of that. Personally, I thought it was a pretty fun race. I thought it was way better than the truck race yesterday, which for some godforsaken reason started in the middle of the workday. But Love your Sammy Smith hat. Not a Sammy Smith hat, but it basically is at this point, right? No, but I had fun with it today. When you look back at the race itself, I mean, the notes for it are not going to be all of that groundbreaking by any means. They're not going to really be all out there as like crazy stuff happening left and right, kind of like some of the truck race. You had damage, or you had others that kind of fell through. Sorry, I'm seeing the Lamar Jackson hat. That one made me laugh. That's pretty funny. But you had like Corey Day having issues and Harrison Burton. Is anyone surprised really that Harrison Burton was one of the first ones eliminated? Like, no, none of us are surprised whatsoever by that. It was a great run. Great season for what that team was last year, and a great comeback, a great story, but they were not a contender, and they would not be a contender in any system whatsoever. It's just unfortunate that it kind of ended with a whimper rather than a roar, at least. But you had a caution for that kind of shuffled things up a little bit. But one of the things I got to note here is that the amount of the playoff guys that were up for elimination, the points that they got, stage points wise, obviously Zilisch, but Love, Allgaier, Smith, Quapple, Hill, Sanchez, Creed, all 8 of the top 10 in that one. As for the second stage, that's when they actually could kind of cut the stages up and do different strategies and all of that. But Love, Smith, Hill, Creed, Quapple, Mayer, and Zilisch in that one too. So, a lot of people maximize their days early on that set this up towards the end. One of the big talking points, Austin Hill, the big bully. I'm sure everyone is very, very sad, just so bummed that he's out. They show the points again. They're not going to show the reset. No, they're not going to show reset just yet. Austin Hill was in position to continue on. He loses out by 21 points. Now I'm pretty sure that with wins and stage wins, he earned less playoff points than that. But then I would also say probably with the way that the regular season standings would have been, being a dumbass at Indianapolis really, really hurt him. I'm just going to say, I know that, he could have done well in the other races in this round, and that didn't help. But being a dumbass at Indianapolis, losing his head, cost him and that RCR team a real shot at Phoenix. Because this next round lines up perfectly for the 21. He's good at 1.5 miles like Las Vegas. He is the best super speedway racer and the best super speedway racing team in the Xfinity Series. And we've seen the terrorism he can cause at Martinsville while racing for the win while causing that. Yeah, he completely screwed himself. He has nobody else to blame but himself. And in my opinion, this is a nice little bow on top. And this is not me like happy that he's out, but just more saying, because of how stupid he was in that moment, he deserves this. He deserves to be out, because that would have probably been the difference. And who knows what they could have done. Maybe had he, been in that kind of position with the car ailing, they maybe leave him out on the track. Maybe he retains more positions. You don't know. It could have been completely different. But he caused this. He reaped what he sowed. And I don't expect anyone outside of maybe RCR fans, maybe Richard Childress himself, to actually feel bad for Austin Hill. Again, just saying. At that point. Let's see. But yeah, so it's like 16 to go. He drops his cylinders, dropping a bunch of positions. I will say he had probably the 5th best car today. Probably should have had a top 10. But ultimately, when you put yourselves in bad positions, you can't have a mistake or a bad luck or a problem or any of that stuff happen. The rest of the way, it seemed like we were going to have a pretty normal race until the 8 pits for fresh rubber, because he had a flat. He goes through and gets the lucky break of a lifetime with the caution coming out right after for the 53 of Sage Karam stopping in the track. Looked like he had a flat tire. I would like an explanation on why he was stopped on the racetrack. Whether it was like, an actual problem, he had been there a while, or like had he stopped on purpose kind of thing. The CW, again, I've been pretty big fan of them for the last year. I personally think today was one of their worst broadcasts. I think they missed a lot of stuff. They were tripping over themselves a lot during it. I like them. I really do. But I would like to know a little bit more. And I don't think I need to go on X, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, wherever the hell on social media you go for your updates. I don't think I need to go on there. I think the broadcast needs to show me and tell me why. But that's what caused the overtime finish. The luckiest break in the world for the 8. Zilisch gets out ahead. We have this big, controversy and all that at the end. But I want to say, I want to say this because it's going to get lost in the Zilisch hype. It's going to get lost in the playoff stuff, and it's going to get lost in the controversy side of it too. Austin Green with a second place finish. He's shown out at road courses a lot in this series. He has taken equipment that shouldn't be running top 20, top 15 and hauling it up there on his back. Get this guy a good ride. Get this guy some good equipment underneath him, some sponsorship, whatever you have to do. I don't care what you have to do. He needs to get a good ride in this series. Austin Green, I know that 87, Jordan Anderson racing on that one, and that team can be a borderline, a fringe playoff team, all of that. I want to see him in a top tier ride. I want to see him in the 17 at some point, or in the part-time of the one car next year, or whatever car JRM is going to do that with. I want to see him in a good ride and see what he can do, even as a part-time deal. I don't want him to get lost in the fold like other really good but underfunded drivers end up getting. But I really, really want to make a point about that, because it's going to get lost in all of the storylines from this race. And the CW's probably, I don't know, I haven't been paying as much attention, but I'm assuming the CW has not interviewed him. They probably won't. If they do, I really hope they do. But they probably haven't. But they should interview him. They should. They probably won't, though, because playoffs and all that crap. I will say too, and maybe this is because I'm very much a not a pro playoff guy, but I was really getting annoyed the last 10 laps of like the knob slobbing of the playoffs that the booth was doing, of like, I get, talking about it and all of that. Like, I'm not saying that, is a problem, because it is what's going on, but just like, there's been a lot of talk, but you can't do any of this and have any of this. And I'm just like, guys, just tell me what's on the screen. All right. I see Austin Hill getting interviewed right now. See, my question is like, is he going to blame somebody? I mean, to be fair, what he's saying, I mean, they were set up. They were set to make it. But shouldn't have went crazy at Indy. Just saying. Oh, they can hear the TV. Y'all can hear the TV now? Okay. See, I don't know why the hell it's doing that, because I like turned it up 1, but I'll turn it down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Put Austin Green in a JGR car. Let's see what happens. Totally would love to see that happen. I'm sorry. I just find it freaking funny. I for so long, I was like the one that was kind of, oh, well, in defense of Hill. At this point, I'm just like, no, you screwed yourself, buddy. You screwed yourself. But yeah, kind of going back to that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of like the whole fatigue with it all and all that, but it just, I don't know why, it just kind of grinded my gears a little bit today. It felt like they were trying to defend it more than talk about it, I guess is the way. Because like, even when NBC talks about it all the time before this year, I was like, okay, whatever. But it always feels like when the broadcasters talk about it now, it's like they're having to defend it. And it's like, we don't need to have a back and forth with the fan base over the broadcast. It's the same thing with like the keyboard warriors thing and all the other things. But I gotta say, outside of like Star Wars media, there is no other media in the world that likes to talk down to its fans more than NASCAR media does. So I'm not surprised at this point. So going into the next round, we finally got the actual playoff picture, and I can take a picture of this and actually put it on screen too. Connor Zilisch plus 54 or 57, I should say. Allgaier plus 24. So I will not ever say again after the Kevin Harvick deal that they're all locked in, but as long as nothing stupid happens at Talladega, I think Zilisch should be okay. The amount of points that you can make up in one race without winning, I think is 55. So Zilisch is roughly, and I very roughly, I'm guesstimating on this, a full race ahead because there's 2 points there between Mayer and Love. So even if like the cut line got moved up one, that is again roughly a race or so. So he really just needs 2 good races and they'll be set. Justin Allgaier plus 24. I will not say that he is set by any means, just because when you look at Talladega and you look at the craziness that can happen at Martinsville, I cannot say that he is safe. Now, from there, it's just like razor thin. +4 for Brandon Jones. That win's really going to help him out, definitely down the stretch. And then this round lines up pretty good for him too. And +2 for Sam Mayer, who I would argue has probably been about the best one out there that isn't Connor Zilisch or Justin Allgaier when it comes to the entire season and when it comes to the speed of that car. -2 for Jesse Love. Talladega is going to be circled on that calendar big time, as is Martinsville, I would say. Don't count them out. I think they're going to be right in that cut line, whoever is on it. -7 for Sammy Smith. While he made it through this round, I really don't see him, nailing it and making it through the next one. I think that just the competition is too good. I think his teammate right behind him, -11, Carson Kvapil, I think is better than the 8. I think the 8 is the weak link of this round. And -13, Sheldon Creed. And a first win would really, really come in handy right around now. Just saying. But I will say, I think it's a very strong 8. I think whichever one made it, whether it be Gray or Smith, would have been the weak link of the round. I do think the 54 would have been a better competitive force in the round. But I mean, you look at that, Zilisch, Allgaier, been some of the best all year. Jones, under the radar good, especially as the second half of the year has gone on. Mayer has been fast all season. Love, really, really good at a lot of these tracks, especially Talladega. And you're going to really see, like, do team orders come in handy with RCR on that rate? Does the 21 push to 2, or does he ruin it yet again another year for a teammate of his? Sammy Smith, again, I think the weak link, but he runs up front in some of these races. He could get a win at Martinsville, and any JRM car could get a win at Talladega. Carson Kvapil, I think the same thing. And Creed, at some point, he has to break through, right? And they finally got Austin Green interviewed. How about that? We got Austin Green interviewed. It only took going through some of the guys that had to finish mediocre today to actually do it, but hell yeah. Let's go. I love that. Get him. Wow. I can see the family resemblance. Get him a good ride, man. I'm gonna be on that train for a while. Like, get him a good ride. While Austin Green's getting interviewed, I want to know y'all what you have as a pick for the Final Four. Which 4 do you think make it through? I think it's going to be the 88. I think is my shoe-in one. I'll go the 7, and then from there, Now it gets difficult, man. It gets difficult. I'll say Mayer. So I go Zilisch, Allgaier, Mayer. I'm not going to do Sammy Smith. I don't think it's going to be Quapple either. So that leaves between Creed, Love, and Jones. I'm going to go Jones. I know a lot of people aren't really the biggest fan of Jones, or they think he's kind of like a Nepo baby kind of thing. I like the 20 here. I'm going to go 88, 7, 41, 20. But I could switch out Jones with Love or Creed even, because eventually Creed's going to break through. I just don't have the confidence to say it's going to be whenever I pick him ever. But I will say it will be amazing when he does. But I'm going to go with what I think are the more proven commodities of them. And I think that you could go back and forth, but arguing between the 2 and the 20 on this. But I'm going to go 20. So one last time, 88, 7, 41, and 20. Those are my picks to make it through to Phoenix. Now, here's the fun one. Who do you guys think is going to win the championship of these 8? I know everyone's going to probably say Zilisch, but hey, we live in a world where the best driver all year that could have clinched races early does not. I think he's the favorite, but if the 7 makes it through, that 7 team is bad fast at Phoenix. And to be fair, I think the others would be pretty damn good too for the most part. My question is, like, what's the fan? Is there going to be a fan backlash if it's Allgaier over Zilisch? Just because Allgaier is pretty popular, but Zilisch is the one that I think everyone knows should be the champion this year. If it's anyone outside of those two, I fully expect the internet to blow up, and I'll have the popcorn on standby on that one for sure. Just saying, that's 20 could snipe it. He really could. What's your reaction going to be if Brandon Jones ends up getting the win? All right. I'm just saying, these are all things that could happen. But overall, pretty fun night. We have 4 weeks remaining after this. We have 3 triple headers. Next week, the trucks are off for the last weekend of the year. And then we have Cup tomorrow. So I believe we have 12 total NASCAR races left this year. That's just crazy to say. Long season, man, it is coming to an end. And I got to agree with Spencer. I actually think this season's flown by. Last season moved like glacial pace, slow as hell. This one I think has actually flown by, but I think it's because there's been so much going on between, crazy stuff on track, between the playoff committee and full season points and all of that debate. And then you got NASCAR over here. The lower series silly season on top of that. I think there's been a lot that we've been able to talk about this year off the track that's kind of made the weeks fly by because there's just so much stuff like nonstop, like bang, 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 bang. Like, I think that's probably more or less why. Let's go to the, and then fair point. NASCAR 25 is coming out in 10 days. I think that's for the pre-orders. I have no idea how that all works. I'll be honest, man. Like, I still need to buy my PS5 because I need that for some of the other games that I like that are coming out soon. But you got that too. I feel like this offseason is going to fly by because there's going to be so much stuff going on. On top of that, like there's going to be so much, whether it be video game side to the news with the lawsuit. If there's any news on if there's a new playoffs or a chase or a full season or whatever format we get, like there's going to be so much stuff going on this off season. And I think it's going to be really, really, really interesting. I will say I am not a pre-order person though. I do not pre-order games. I wait to see how they are. And the only way I get games early is if like somebody slides it over to me early. That's the only way. I am like a lot of you that I wait to see how good something is before. I had fun with the version I played, but I know they've taken steps past it since then. It's I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be pretty good. But I want to see how it is first. You know, and I think that many people should probably do the same if they're on the fence. Let's see. Yeah, and to be fair, it's not in the Switch 2 either. Let's go to the super chat cooldown lap. I see a lot of you guys putting in your predictions or in your comments in there. A lot of you guys have been very patient with me as well. Joshua Boston left one before we went live, so I can't post it on top of the screen, but saying Zilisch led over 275 laps this year on road courses. Damn, son. In 2025, along with getting his 10th win this season. No one else this year led more than 18. Also, what a recovery for Sammy Smith. He advances in a tie with Taylor Gray. Yeah, I mean, let me find the wins list because I had updated it yesterday where Heim was. I want to see in basically one season where Zilisch kind of stacks up. So let's see. This would be his 11th career win, which ties him with a couple of pretty good drivers in the Xfinity Series. It ties him with Chase Briscoe. I'm just going to name some of them here. Steve Grissom, John Hunter Nemechek, Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip. This now puts him ahead of Robert Presley, Terry Labonte, Bobby Labonte, Jason Keller, Dale Jarrett, and oh my God. In one season, Connor Zilisch has matched the career Xfinity Series wins for Austin Hill. Because yeah, he's on win 11. Yeah, so there's something else for you guys if you want something else, because I know you guys are not fans of Austin Hill. There's something else for you guys to throw out there. I am totally, this week we're gonna be live on NWP, this channel. Mike Mertz is gonna be on to avenge his loss in Random Driver of the Week to Danny B. Going to be a lot of fun having him on, plus plenty of game talk, plenty of NASCAR news coming out, so be sure to check that out. It's going to be a ton of fun, but I am totally bringing that up Wednesday night. I'm totally bringing that up. That's actually funny as hell, and it puts Zilisch in the top 40 all time in one season and +1 when it comes to the Xfinity Series. So damn, that's something. Let's see. M. Martin fan for life. Creed in, Hill out. Awesome. I wonder if again, I wonder if Hill is just gonna go for broke going for wins, or if he's gonna be somewhat respectful. I think he's gonna be going for wins. I'm gonna say this. I would not be surprised if Austin Hill leaves his teammate out to dry at Talladega going for a win. Totally wouldn't be surprised by that. Blorp says lost in the shuffle is the insane drive by Creed. Went from 21st 3 separate times, 21st or worse 3 separate times. Also shout out to Austin Green and my man Kaz. Yes, I made sure to mention Austin Green, but Kaz Grala, I believe, where did he unofficially finish? 4th. Shit, man. My bad. I should have paid attention to him too. Great run for him. Below the Apron says, what a glorious day. Hill out, Zilisch wins. I knew that was going to be a popular result. Roman numeral 3 for the 2 says, and Gray just got killed-dozed once again. Oof. I love that that's just like more and more become just a common thing to say online. Joshua Boston says, correction to my previous super chat. Smith gets in by 1 point over Gray. What a call by that team. Well, I think they said he got a flat tire. And that's why he went in. It wasn't that he, was just like that team had a 1,000 IQ move. They just got lucky, which is kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. Andrew says, let's all laugh at Austin Hill. I'm just imagining like a mix between the meme from George of the Jungle and the dude from The Simpsons. Young Money. NASCAR officials are so stupid. What the F? Were they trying to review at the end of the race. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we taking so long on something? The CW just popped up a camera and was like, here's what happened. Like, it was easy to see. Marky Mark is also happy that Austin Hill is out. I have a feeling this is going to be a very common sentiment this week and beyond. Young Money, what's your Cup prediction for tomorrow's race? Well, I think I had William Byron on NWP. I still think that SVG is going to be the number one guy to look at, but William Byron, when it came to longer runs in practice, actually was faster than the 88. So I'm wondering if that's just SVG, taking it easy, or if he's going to have actual competition eventually. I'm still going to say SVG's number one, but I got to stick with my podcast pick on that one. I have it around here somewhere. And then drives a 21, penalized, minus 21 playoff points for hooking Almirola, first round exit by 21 points. Yep. Can't say it much better than that. But again, I think I said at the time, like, this is going to cost him his season more than likely. He should be good enough to make it through, but stupid stuff happens, and something stupid happened. So, but how about do it? Thank you guys so much for coming on out. We'll be live tomorrow after the Cup race. We'll talk all about the Roval, about who gets eliminated there. Can't possibly be more controversial, right? Probably will. So whether it's the SVG showcase or something crazy happens, we'll be here. Thank you guys all so much for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later, y'all.